Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do. This is the weekly live chat episode 32, where you and I discuss the things of everything that's happened over the last 7 days, not just West Ham related content. As always, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase their retro kits from the 60s all the way through to the early 2000s, as you can see from the icon that's up here. Along with Clout and Blue track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts made by Umbro and Admiral. As always, any commission that the channel get from any of your purchases that you've very kindly made, I will be making the donation directly to Iron Supporting Food Banks, the charity that I've been asking you guys to make donations to since Christmas. So guys, thank you very, very much for joining. As always, let's have a look to see who's in the chat. Yusuf made his comment when he was at lunch by the looks of things. James, good evening mate, hope you're alright. Gary says my hair's getting long. I'm booked in for Monday. Can't wait. He's getting his hair cut by the looks of things. My hair is getting long, mate. And do you know what? I actually like it like this. I'm gonna get it cut at some point. I'm just not gonna do it very anytime soon. Because I like my hair like this, and I like to be different to everybody else. As nice as it is having short hair, I prefer it like this. So anyway, so guys, as always, before Kent Hammers wades in with his stat for today, on this day in 2007 is the most legendary day in West Ham history, at least in recent times, and more specifically in the Premier League, because on this day in 2007, we beat Arsenal at the Emirates. The first ever club to beat them at the Emirates. As the old song goes, last team at Highbury, first team at Emirates. James, you know the format. We're not talking about West Ham straight away, son. You know the format. We'll talk about it halfway through the stream. As I said, it's about other things rather than just West Ham. But we'll start off with on this day. And as Gary is intimated on here as well. Don't worry, James, mate. We will be talking about that. Believe me, we've got that. I've got that in the section. Just for this, because half of the content is talking about the last 7 days of everything. And then the second half of it is talking about West Ham over the last 7 days. So yeah. So as Gary was saying, pubs, hairdressers, restaurants are all opening this coming Monday. The plan is being stuck to by the government, and thank fuck for that. Quite frankly, really. Mick, hello mate. Hope you're doing all right. James, yes, Bobby Zamora was the man, and because I saw the highlights of the game earlier this afternoon, and what an assist from Lucas Neal up to him as well, for that matter. But as I say, pubs and hairdressers and restaurants are all opening. Andy Walshy, hello mate, hope you're doing all right. Everything that we'd like to know is starting to open from this coming Monday, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. Spoilers for next weekend. There's a very good chance I won't be doing the watch along for the Newcastle away game, because I've been invited down the South End by friends who are hoping to be able to do a we're trying to try and book some drinkies on Saturday, so we're doing it from live at lunchtime. So unfortunately, I'll miss the Newcastle game by the looks of things, unless anything changes, which of course I'll keep you guys updated, and you'll hear about that in the preview. But yes, James, you're right. It was a fantastic performance from Robbie Green as well. Probably the best he's ever done for us, I think, to be honest with you. I really genuinely think he has. Because there isn't a performance he's done that is any better than that. Gary says, getting me haircut, going out to buy a new clobber, then down at the pub all on Monday. He's excited. Agreed, mate. I genuinely can't wait. Really can't wait for it. And also, something that slipped under the radar, it's not applicable to most of us, but driving lessons are starting to resume on Monday as well in England and Wales. So, it's good. It's things are getting back. Things are getting slowly back to normal, as I always said we would. I said I said it right from the start. I said it from this time last year. There will be a point that we will get our lives back. I mean, obviously, you didn't think it was going to be 12 months like the rest of us, but You know, it is good. It is good that we're slowly getting our lives back to normal. We can have a pint outside in April. Not the best of ideas, but I don't care. I don't care if it's snowing down in Southend on next Saturday. I will be having a pint. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. And it's also, because one of the reasons why this is all going to plan is because the plan was that once the COVID cases and deaths due to this pandemic drop to a very, very significant, very, very small number, then life will start coming back, and that's exactly what's happened. Yesterday's numbers was 2,750 odd new cases. Really good, and for the first time in a long time, we've had cases under 100 people dying on a day as well. So very good, very, very good. James says, are we looking forward to drinking at the pub in the April showers? Well, mate, the way things have been going, mate, I don't think we will. I generally don't think we're going to get rain in April, but anything's possible. I mean, we'll get a bit here and there, but it won't be, I don't think it's going to be the 40 days and 40 nights like it normally is. And also, just to shed some light on it as well, while we're talking about it, because I don't know if any of you guys watched the government broadcast on Monday, because the COVID passports idea keeps coming up. People say, why are you doing it? And nobody is listening to it in any shape or form. Yes, Yusuf, it is just any later than that, I have to start giving you lines, mate. But welcome, and Jay, good to see you guys as well. Mick says Peter Boat dining out. I'm not really sure what that means, mate, but that's good. Yeah, blah blah blah. Where are we? But yeah, as I say, the COVID passports, regardless of what the Sun and the Daily Mail and everything else has said, it's been right from the mouths of the government. Is the fact that it's not going to happen in steps 2 and 3. Yeah, the next 2 lockdowns easing. The one step 2 that happens on Monday, and then step 3 that happens early May, isn't gonna happen. It isn't gonna happen. He says the more likely idea for it, and this comes around. Okay, Peter Boat's your local. Fair enough, Mick. I remember that in Bazzy. The most likely idea for the passport, as it stands at the minute, that this has been talked about for months, and nothing's been ever agreed on it. But, and I agree with Johnson what he was saying on this. The most logical part to have a COVID passport is exactly that, a passport. Yeah, so you can go to Spain, you can go to Italy, you can go to wherever, and say I'm COVID free, let me in. That's the whole point of it. That's the fact. To say that you've never had it, or that you've had the vaccines. Bam. And that side of things, I think is a good idea. It's a bad idea. James is coming up to your question there. It's a bad idea for everything else. Yeah, it's a ridiculous idea for everything else, because not only is it going to prevent people that haven't had the vaccine yet from doing what they want to do, which is a breach of civil liberties, it's also adding fuel to the fire of being criticised and being poked at and people taking the piss out of you already, on top of everything, how toxic this way of life is. Yusuf, who cares? You're going to get beaten anyway, so who gives a monkeys? But no, that's the thing. And again, Yusuf, please engage in the conversations. By all means, ask questions, but please engage in the conversation at the same point. But yeah, as I say, and that's the thing. That's as I say, there's to have it, as the EFL, one of the EFL guys was saying earlier today, that having a COVID passport is a great way to ensure that we're not going into lockdowns again. It's as much as I agree with him on that, I disagree at the same point, because it's a breach of civil liberties that we have to have a passport or any form of identification to go into something that we should be doing completely hassle-free. That's what I have an issue with. That's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy going clubbing, because you always had to show your identity. I know the reason behind it, for security reasons, and if anything happens, they've got, they can like easily identify. But that's not the point. Really, isn't the point. It's just the fact that if you want to go away on holiday to another country, that's where COVID passport is the most logical. It genuinely is. To go to the pub, to go to the cinema, to go to the football, to go to whatever. No, not for me in any shape or form. Jay, please remove that if you don't mind, because we're not having any prejudicial hashtags in the chat, please, because I know what that's about. And please remove that, otherwise I'll remove it for you. Thank you. James asks, do you think this will finally be the end of COVID in regards of no more future lockdowns? No, I don't think it is, mate. I don't think it is, because we're always going to live with this. We're always going to live with this in the same way that we're always living with the flu. It's gonna come around every single year at some point. Until our bodies are immune to it, either naturally or chemically, we're always going to be around with it. Lockdowns, I think it should be the end of future lockdowns, because, like I said, we've got to learn to adapt from it. Yeah, we've got to learn to adapt with it. Now, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about COVID restrictions, right? Is because it was confirmed earlier today that there's doubts over Dublin being able to host any of the Euros. Because as we all know, the home nations were all given time to submit any information on things, and unfortunately, Dublin haven't been able to confirm they'll be able to get a decent amount of supporters in for any of the games at this stage. And today was the deadline for that to happen, which is a shame, because Dublin's a great night out, really good city over in the Republic, very, very good fun, and. And that's the thing. It's just it's a shame nonetheless. But it'll have to be adapted. But the good news is great to see that Hampden Park has been given the all clear for the Scotland games. So Hampden Park Scotland will be playing technically at home, to the Czech Republic on the 14th of June, and they'll also be playing the away game against Croatia on the 22nd of June there as well. So technically it's 2 home games, but it's not at the same point. And also the last 16 game in the Euros, the 29th of June. Middlesbrough's Riverside Stadium is the host the England friendlies against Austria on the 2nd of June, and also Romania on the 6th of June. So very, very happy with that. Very, very good. Jay, we'll talk about West football stuff when it comes around to the football section of it. So again, you know the drill, mate. And I appreciate you haven't been here for a little while, but at the same time, it's the rest of the world for the first half, and football and everything else onto the second half. So we're getting there. So bear in mind, mate, we've got another 10-15 minutes before we start talking about that yet. But if you've got any questions, Jay, put them in. Doesn't matter if you're asking me if I like pizza or curry. Ask your questions, because this is an open Q&A between yourself and everybody and me. So James says, what's your thoughts on people who are not going to have the vaccine and are concerned about having it due to fear of getting ill? Well, James, it's a very good point, to be honest with you, because AstraZeneca report confirmed today that there is a very, very big link between the extremely rare but still possible blood clots on the brain. Now, for me, that is a worry. Now, we know this is one of the reasons why the under-20s are going to be given the alternative version of it. And Andy said exactly what I was just saying. James, people should get the jab, and getting ill from it is a tiny percentage. And believe me when I say I got it. Yes, you did, mate, unfortunately. But yeah, it has to happen at some point. It has to happen. It's not mandatory in any shape or form. You shouldn't be forced to make it, which is what I'm going goes back to me talking about the COVID passport, where people will say, "Oh, you're not, why haven't you had the passport? Why haven't you had the vaccine? Blah blah blah." We've got enough discrimination going on in this world as it is, without that stupid twat stuff bunging it on top of it. But as I say, it should be completely mandatory. 95% of the country will get it, and Jay, that's ridiculous. My mate not having a vaccine, therefore he's giving up a season ticket. It's not a reason to give up your season ticket, but anyway, each their own. But hang on, let me just turn the microphone down a little bit. It's a little bit too hot. There you go. That's a bit better. But yeah, no. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say anybody's right for having it. I'm not saying anybody's wrong for having it. But this is the thing. So it's not mandatory. You don't have to have it. It's worthwhile having it, of course. It's kind of like going out on the pool on the Friday or Saturday night or Wednesday, Thursday, whenever you do it, and taking the condom with you, because it's better to have the condom and not use it, not need it, and need it and not have it. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. That's my opinion on it. I say, because it's everybody's discretion at the end of the day. Mix asking, do you know if the London Stadium is going to be used for the athletics in the summer? Hasn't seen anything yet, mate. Nothing's come out. It would come out by now, but nothing is yet. James says, Andy, I am asthmatic, as am I, and I feel fear for the jab. I've been to Benidorm last year before lockdown and coped all year to avoid it. It's a concern for me as asthmatic. Yeah, it is. It's not. It doesn't really affect your respiratory system any harder than the COVID does itself, because it's a very, very small dose of the virus. It's enough for your body to create the antibodies for it, but it's not full-blown COVID. And no, it doesn't affect your DNA. No, there is no tracking system in there, etc., etc. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, personally, for me, I generally do think. I generally do think that it's at the discretion of everyone. That's my opinion on it, and nobody should be criticised for not having it, and nobody should be lauded either for having it as well, for that matter. Now, James, I'm glad you came up with saying what you were saying, because it's completely understandable that people are going to be worried about it. It is, but as Andy said there, it's a hard decision, but it's 1 in 6,000 chance of blood clots. Exactly. Now, the BBC, I was going to talk about this a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't get round to it. But I think this is probably more prevalent now than it ever will be. So we'll just jump on that very, very quickly before we start going on to the football talk. All right. So for example, 400 people usually die a day from respiratory diseases in most winters, up to 600 to 700 people a year on a bad year. This matches the numbers we have had in the past 6 weeks. Why are we locked down? Please, could someone explain? Blah 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 blah. I said the flu is a serious respiratory virus that can be deadly, but there are vaccines and treatments available. Only very recently have vaccines for COVID-19 started, as we've talked about before. The long-term effects of COVID could also be much more severe for people, with many people, and it's more infectious than the flu. COVID is also deadlier, says Professor Picos, faculty director at St. Johns Hopkins Hospital in the US. COVID has a higher severe disease and mortality rate than influenza in all age groups, except perhaps children under the age of 12. The risk of serious illness and death from coronavirus is significantly higher for older age groups, but at the same time, it's only the majority of the people that have it have really, really bad underlying symptoms of other things as well. That's the thing. That's the reason behind it. James says, have you heard any bad cases from people having the vaccine? Yes, I know there's one in the chat already who's already talked about it. But that's it. I don't know anybody else that's had any issue with it personally. But at the same time, it's understandable that we're going to be worrying about it, because it's something we've never seen before. Yeah, it's something that we've never seen before, and we don't know what the ramifications are going to be. So everyone, of course, there's going to be people that are going to be worried about it. Let's have a look. Joe says, following up my last comment, if they implement COVID passports as Boris mentioned, they haven't. He didn't mention it. That's what I said at the start. He didn't mention it. That mass gathering stadiums will be in the category if they go through. But he said, and I quote, COVID passports are not part of phases 2 and 3. I literally just said it around about the time you clocked in. He did not say it. The papers are saying he did it, but you actually go back and watch the conversation he had. He said it on more than one occasion, not just only on Monday, but over the last 2 to 3 months when people have been asking, he said, it's not in the plans. It's not in the plans. Oh, dear. And then, yeah, mixes. Your son, 22, is having the jab. Now being told it can be dangerous. Does he have to have the second dose? It can be, Mick, but as James as WHU's just confirmed, it's 1 in a 6,000 chance. So it's best that he has it, because if he doesn't have any symptoms from the first, he might not have anything from the second. Again, it's everything. It's a flip round. And Andy says, "Yep, absolutely fine now, Jay, since he's had the second jab." So that backs it up. What I was saying, if he hasn't had anything bad with the first one, there's a very good chance he's not going to have anything bad with the second one. I understand the concern, Mick, but as I say, from all the information that's available, that if people just Google, we can find this information everywhere. You can find it everywhere. This is what annoys me, that people will go onto Twitter or go onto Facebook and ask people, what about this, when you can just Google it and find the information out for yourself. And that is the worry. So Yusuf asks, lockdown is done in the UK, right? Nope, it's not finished yet, mate, in any shape or form. Nope, we are still in lockdown. It's easing, but we're not out of lockdown yet. It's kind of, in a way, it's kind of like the recession. Yeah? We're kind of coming out of a recession, but we're not fully out of it. I don't care what the analysts said over the last 15 years. I don't believe them in any shape or form. And the reason why I don't believe them is when after the recession hit, when the stock markets crashed in, was it 2005, 2006, whatever it was, they said that we're out of recession because the UK has seen 0.1% growth in the last 3 months as of whatever date that so yeah, that's not a growth to me, and that's not an indication that we're ever out of a recession. Because if it's 0.1%, then it's not enough. It's 1/10 of 1%. It's ridiculous. Gary says COVID gives you blood clots. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Not every single time. Is anyone listening or reading to what's going on in the conversation today? Seriously, Gary, man. I've just said it. James has confirmed. Walshy's confirmed it as well. It's 1 in 600 chance of getting it. It doesn't. It's not an automatic thing. I don't know how many more times I have to say this. James asked a question. When the countries open again in June, do you think there will be another lockdown before the end of the year? Mate, that's 10 months away. It's 8 months, 6-7 months away, mate. With no idea. I'd like to think no, but I'm not in a position to answer that. I don't have access to any of the medical records because they're not available for public viewing for obvious reasons. But as I said, we have to live with it. The vaccines are out now. The majority of the country, the majority of the nation, for that matter, is going to be vaccinated by the end of the year. That's the plan, as we talked about 8 or 9 months ago. So I don't think we will have another lockdown. But it depends. It all depends on what happens. It all depends on how stringent places are of other countries. Yeah, I mean, if we lock down the borders, we are then in a massive recession. If we'd have closed the borders down this time last year, I don't know what would happen to the finances of the UK. The government would have to borrow a lot more than the, was it £750 million that they've already had to spend, or sorry, £250 billion that they've already had to spend to borrow in order to keep us afloat. So, imagine if we had no tourists whatsoever. Yes, all right. The cases might jump up. Sorry, the cases might have gone down a lot quicker than they currently have. But at the same point, what's the more important, people's lives or keeping the economy afloat? It's a catch-22. It's a real shame, and people forget, because I was talking to a mate of mine, funnily enough, who's an Aussie, who's a UK citizen now. About this earlier today, because we are so used to seeing tourists, we don't even think about how much money tourists bring into the country, especially into London and Manchester and Liverpool and Swansea and Edinburgh and Glasgow, etc., etc. They bring in a shed load of money. Without that, a lot more businesses would have died over the last 12 months than already have, because again, a lot of companies are using COVID as an excuse and not a reason to do it. They're saying it, because but if the finances were really that bad of the companies, then the big wigs would literally just would actually withdraw them. Don't claim a bonus for a year. But no, they claim their bonuses. They get their £3 or £4 million, and they lay off 20,000 people. That's how it works, unfortunately. James asks, how important is it that in the future we put more money into the NHS healthcare system? Mate, it's the most important thing ever, and it has been for 30, 40 years. It all started. This problem could have been avoided. All right, okay, this is hindsight, decades and decades and decades later, but this could have all been avoided if Maggie Thatcher and the Tory party weren't closing hospitals left, right and centre. Yeah? If I remember correctly, in the 70s, Mick might be able to back this up on this, because he might be able to remember this a little bit more, or anybody else who's 10, 15 years older than me, that there's about the available hospitals in and around the London area are half of what they used to be 40 years ago, I think, or 2/3. It's either a half or 2/3. It's one of the two. I can never remember which way round it is, but that's the problem. That is the issue. That is the issue right there and then. Is if they hadn't made all those cutbacks in the NHS, then we would probably be able to get out of this a lot quicker than we previously have been. All right, our income tax and our national insurance would have skyrocketed as a result of it, but I would rather pay an extra few quid in my tax and have a healthy healthcare system than have it what it is at the minute and have people working 17, 18 hours a week already without COVID. It's ridiculous. John, hello mate. I'm doing very well. I hope you're all right. Mick says, I go way back. Don't get me started on that bitch. I had a funny feeling you might say something like that, mate. Yeah. Testified. He says, I'll probably go after some time, and I think you should name this weekly chat maybe more discussions about COVID. Sev, again, pay attention. And I'm not joking. I think this is what we talk about every week. We don't. We've talked about other things just now, but the guys are asking the questions in the chat, so I'm answering them. That's what an open Q&A is, mate. Come on. I'm getting sick of this, honestly. If you don't understand the format, then don't watch. If you don't get this channel, don't watch. It's as simple as that. If you can't show the respect that this channel requires from everybody, and that includes everybody else, because if you read the comments, I'm reading what everyone's talking about. This is what an open Q&A literally means. John's asking, have you been up to much today, Don? Yes, I've been working, mate, because it's a working week. Gary says, Germany's supposed to have top-class healthcare system and they haven't even vaccinated the 70-year-old people yet. Yeah, because Angela Merkel is throwing a wild stick into roundabout, and so the EU are having issues with getting the vaccines out to people in time, which is one of the reasons why I'm very, very glad we're not in the European Union anymore. Very, very happy with it, because they are absolutely screwing people over left, right, and centre, and I genuinely mean that. They are treating them very, very badly. And talking of which, there are certain clubs that are now opposed to having us fans returning to the grounds over the last before the end of the season. You know, it's so bad, because it's right on the half-hour mark, and we're going to start properly talking about football now. So this is pathetic. That some football clubs, it hasn't mentioned who yet. I'm sure that'll come out in the next few days. But there are some football clubs that genuinely don't want us to be returning to the football grounds for the penultimate game of the season. When all season, all of the managers are saying the players are missing the fans, we're missing the fans are missing the grounds, blah blah blah. We need them back as soon as possible. And now it looks like it's going to be happening within the next 5 to 6 weeks. Certain clubs are going, actually no, we don't need them anymore. We don't need them back for this season. So, and it does my head in the amount of people that do this, right? That they will just specifically irritate people. Right, I'm not going to say who said it, because I say that it's not available, but you can see that the article is out there about certain. There are clubs saying it's exactly. It said that it's the clubs that ain't in the top 4. You know, it's and so read. So these are the people that have so narrow minds that they don't understand that clubs are there for the fans. They're not there for them. They're not there for the players. That as Jim Broadbent in The Damned United, and the movie about Derby, well, more specifically Thingy Bob, you know, the Derby player, the Derby manager that went on to Leeds. The list, the hierarchy in football goes: the owners, the fans, the players, the canteen staff, basically all the employees, and the manager. The manager is bottom of the pile in the tree of a football club, and he's absolutely the ladder of a football club, and he's absolutely right. Unfortunately, it should really be slightly better off than that, but that's exactly what it is. It is absolutely. But no, John, I didn't get any snow the other day, mate. It is absolutely piss poor that it's just. But Gary's making a good point here. So can you imagine the boos from them in Top Scum and Arsenal when they do go back? Yeah, they might be. I know Daniel Levy is very, very happy to get the players back, the fans back as quick as possible. But yeah, it could well be. Because all hell could break loose at certain clubs like Liverpool. Especially bearing in mind how trounced they got last night against Real Madrid, which was understandable. How you know that they're nowhere near the top 4 at the minute. I mean, obviously, you know, there's a very, very good chance that Liverpool could overtake us at some point and we get a Europa League finish, which is not too bad, which we'll come on to in a minute. But yeah, I can just about figure out your spelling, mate. Yeah, I've known you lot. You've been here for almost a year now, so I can kind of guess where you're going with your spelling. But yes, there will be big backlash from a lot of fans. And Jay sums it up perfectly. Anyone missing that match day experience can't wait to get back, mate. We're all missing it. We are all genuinely missing it. We're missing seeing our mates. We're missing the banter. You know, we're missing the games. You know, we're missing the chance to be able to watch it live. I hate watching football live on telly. I absolutely can't stand it. Mick says, "Nah, not for me. Especially where relegation might come into play." That's half the point, though, mate. Ken, hello, Gazer. Have you decided on renewing your if you're renewing yet? Ken is. Yusuf says, you miss being a season ticket holder. Don't miss it. I still am. I still am a season ticket holder. But going on that question, Kent, because it is coming up. So if anybody doesn't know, I mean, I'd be very surprised if there are any West Ham supporters in here that don't know, because we've had emails, we've had texts, it's all over the bloody place at the minute. But season ticket renewals opened yesterday. Very, very angry at that. Very, very angry at that. It proves what I said when we talked about the accounts last month, that we are absolutely in dire straits, and it proves that we're not even anywhere near the end of the season yet, and they're getting people to renew. You know, Kent looks like he's going to. Gary says he's renewed his today. Fair enough. I know Andy, the other Andy, not Walshy. The other Andy has Andy Miles has renewed his season ticket is yesterday. But for those that don't know the full timescale, it's open from yesterday until the 28th of May for anybody that will need to take the payment instalment plan, which I'm guessing is going to be quite a few people, unfortunately. But it's open if you're going to pay it all in one go, like with your credit card, whatever. Then it's the 4th of June. That's the deadline, and I will be renewing mine as long as things stay the way they are going for the next 8 games. I will be renewing mine at the start of June, end of May, beginning of June. It's to make people panic, quite frankly. Go, oh, I need to get my season ticket. We're doing really well. Let's, we're in a very good chance of finishing the top 4. I'll do it. Mick says he's renewed today using your club cash. Fair enough. Jay, exactly. GSB rubbing their hands together. Give us your money. Ken says he tried to do it on phone today. He was number 50 odd. Do it online. It's quicker to do it online. Trust me, mate. Go online. Put in your season ticket, your individual number, and you can do it online. It's much, much easier. But the worrying thing is, and Miles, we're just talking about this, Milesy, about the season tickets, because I know you've renewed your season ticket. But welcome back, half time as always. But there's no sign that they're going to do any partial payment again, like they did with the 30%. So, which in a way is encouraging. It's encouraging. Maybe they haven't thought about it, but it's encouraging nonetheless. I mean, I renewed in full last season, and I said at the start of last season, obviously because all the hoo-ha that was going on over the summer, after we all renewed our season tickets, I did say that I wouldn't renew unless an absolute miracle happened this season, and that miracle is 90% here. Not to say that this has got anything to do with Golden, Sutherland and Brady. It hasn't in any shape or form. This has happened despite David Moyes not really being backed in the way that he should have done. It's not because of them, it's despite them. And as a result of that, I am going to be renewing my season ticket, because I had a horrible feeling we were getting relegated this season, and as we all did, to be fair, we all did. Jay says, the thing is, John, think you get problems online transferring club cash to a new season ticket? Let us know if you know different. I don't, because I took a refund. I didn't bother with the club cash. It's much. They are owing me a couple of more games so far. They're not 100% there yet. But I took it as a result. And he says, yeah, all done. I took advantage of the 10% per game, so can't complain. You did, mate. Yeah. Treat myself to a new jacket and train. Oh. Giving more money to GSB. Somebody wrap his ankles and his wrists, please. Now, at the end of the day, Andy, mate, I get it. Yeah, because it's free money, because you got an extra 10% on top of that. So fair enough. But yeah, Big Dave. Hi everyone, I'm new. What am I expect when subscribing? Well, welcome, Big Dave. You can expect to see West Ham previews. You expect to see watch-alongs. You can, there's also these every Wednesday at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night. weekly live chats where we talk about everything, including West Ham stuff. So if you are a West Ham supporter, or even if you're not a West Ham supporter, because there are a couple of people in here that aren't West Ham supporters. Hi TSC, welcome, half timer, and yeah, so yeah, welcome to the channel, mate. If you're liking what I'm doing, then by all means, please do click the like button, of course, and please also just have a look through the channel. Have a look through the channel list. As you say, we do live watch-alongs for the games. This is the only channel that's been doing them for 2.5. At the end of the season, it'll be 3 seasons straight that we've done watch-alongs. And then and then I say there's previews. There's also roundups for nobody's Grimsby 3 and 3. Fair enough. It's always nice to have neutrals on the channel because it gives a bit different perspective on things. Because the majority of us are all West Ham, so we'll have a West Ham perspective. So it'd be interesting to see your thoughts on things as well. But I say there's previews, there's watch-alongs for the games. There's also the live fantasy league roundup that I do. I mean, obviously that won't affect you because you wouldn't be in the fantasy league for this season. And as I say, the weekly live chats. There's more stuff coming. And Dave, thank you very much for pointing that out because I want to let everybody know that for next season, this channel is now will be on Twitch. I've got some ideas to do because I know everybody associates Twitch with gaming, but I went on there over the last couple of days. I've seen that it's more than that. It's evolving like YouTube is. You know, YouTube when it started, was it 10, 12 years ago? Whenever it was. It's just stupid videos like you see on TikTok now, but it's evolved over that. You know, people game on YouTube, people do music, put their music videos up on there. Some people have got record deals out from being on YouTube. You know, it's evolved, and Twitch is evolving as well. So this channel is now on Twitch. So it's twitch.tv/JPWHU TV. So easier to find, hopefully. And yeah, so Big Dave says, although my late father, Milky Pims, he was called, was a hammer. Well, condolences for your dad, mate. But yeah, as I say, browse the channel, have a look. If you like it, please do subscribe. Because it'd be nice to try and get us to 1,800 subscribers by the end of the season. So 16 people away as of the time of when this broadcast went live. What else are we? So yeah. Now I don't know if any of you guys watched the open training live stream that happened earlier today. If you did do it, then by all means please do let me know what your thoughts are on it. For me, there was not much to see because, as I've said about training sessions and things before, because we were talking about it a few months ago. That, you know, when there's training videos up, you know, we will look at it and go, oh, you know, Ben Rama's taken a good corner there and all that sort of stuff. Whereas opposition managers or scouts, whatever, will take a look at those and go, right. So that's how they set up for a free kick, or that's how they set up for. Do you know what I mean? That's why David Moyes said today that we won't be seeing a hell of a lot on there, and you know, because he doesn't want other clubs to see what we're training for. You know, he doesn't want us to see how we're setting up for set pieces. He doesn't want to see us how we're setting up for free kicks and everything else and you know, just and how we're setting up in different formations and all that sort of stuff. Walshy said he watched it. It was okay. It was all right. I mean, there wasn't, but it was good to see Ogbonna doing light training. Same with Fredericks. Fredericks was doing some light training as well. Ben Rama was doing some shot practice with Alan Irvin, and Nathan Trott was in goal. Still not very good, Ben Rama. Some of those were terrible, absolutely awful. But at least he's trying. He's trying to do it. Big Dave says, I'll come to what you just said in a minute there, Dave. Yarmolenko was undertaking light training as well. He was running up and down the side of the pitch, which was good to see. And I say, Fredericks was also doing a little bit light training with Alan Irvin as well. So, with Piercy, I should say. So it was good from that side of things. But that's all it was. It was nice to see who's doing what in terms of their training and rehab, and that's basically what we were given to see. Dave says I saw a few minutes of it on his recommended list. It was good and interesting, but a bit of a clumsy presenting at times. I know mistakes happen, but I'd like to see more banter than seriousness. Well, this is the thing, mate. It's a training day. And even though Coley and whatever his name is, I can never remember his name, Coley, they did have a bit of a banter between the two of them. Yeah, Walsh, exactly. Yeah, Yarmolenko was jogging. And Gary, yes, that was the thing. That was no. They were teasing us big time about the messages that Cole was getting sent from Noble. But yeah, he's probably just winding him up, because it was interesting hearing what Nolan was saying. Winding up Cole. We had Ben Johnson's interview, cracked me up, really, really funny. David Moyes' interview as well was Chris Gall. Thank you, Kent. Yeah, it does my head in, that bloke. I don't know. He seems a lovely bloke, but he's a better presenter than me, so I can't really criticise. To be fair, I genuinely can't. But I'm not a big fan of him. Len, welcome. Was at work during the game and missed it. Did the Antonio injury look bad? No, mate, it wasn't all that bad. We're literally going to talk about the Wolves game now. So, guys, put your thoughts about the Wolves game. But yeah, it was. The information coming out that expert talked about earlier was the fact that he just needs. He was taken off as a precaution. The club aren't 100% sure what's going on with Antonio. But we'll find out more in the coming days, of course. And look out for the preview of the Leicester game, which will be available on YouTube on Friday, around about early lunchtime, and it will be available for Patreon. So value for the Patreons. So Milesy, you'll be able to watch it. That will be tomorrow lunchtime, because I'm literally going to film it straight after this. So yeah, but. Big Dave says Ben Rama is good and all, but until there's a goal in the back of the net, I'm not too keen. I know what you mean. But yes, as Jay said, then he needs more time and goals. His confidence will rise. Let's not forget, this is his first season. He's got some ability for assists. But he's not playing as much, and he's not playing as much because his confidence isn't there, and his confidence isn't there because he's not playing much. It's a catch-22. It really, really is bad from that side of things. But Dave says I'll definitely use skillful and keen, but I'd still start 4-0s. I've been asking Ben Rama to start for a long time, a long time. But yeah, so guys, give me your thoughts on the Wolves game. Come on, give me your thoughts. Squeaky bum time. As I said to Bill on Garage Football, I've never been so angry and happy at the same time of finishing fourth. Getting back into the fourth position. We were terrible for a lot of that game, especially in the second half. Our marking was terrible. As great as the ball is from Neto up to Silva for their second, we could have done a lot better with that. We genuinely could have done. The first goal, unavoidable to a degree. Yes, there's an argument that Diop could have jumped a little bit higher. But it is what it is. We came away with the 3 points. We haven't won there for 11.5 years, as Kent will be able to back me up on this. In the league, of course. So it's been fun. It's been but yeah, we're fourth in the table, and coming round to what James Faber was saying. Just come. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. James says 5 goals in 2 games is not good. Conceding 5 goals in 2 games is not good, is what you were talking about. We got the win. We can't keep defending like that. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, mate. Which is one of the reasons why a lot of people are asking for Balbuena to come in and replace a Diop, which I can't argue with and against in any shape or form. Swindon, hello, mate. Said his mum's just been taken into hospital. Shit, mate, I didn't know that. I hope she's okay. And this makes me feel so much better. Thanks, bud. You're welcome, fella. You're welcome. Andy says about Wolves, got the job done. Doesn't matter how you play at this stage of the season. At the end of the game is the score. It's the score sheet that matters. Agreed, it is. But you can't have one without the other to a degree, but I know where you're going with it. Said Kent says another one ticked off, 8 more to go. Crichton, welcome back, mate. Lingard is pulling us through. No, he's not, because we started this run without him, but he's certainly making it better. That's for sure. Gary says I'm just happy we're scoring so many goals. Agreed. Dave says good to hear, Swindon. Hope she's doing all right, Sam, as well. Mick says it was weird how it panned out, so much like the Arsenal game. Yeah, there's a lot of confidence drop, mate, especially in the second half. James says Ogbonna is needed as soon as possible. Very, 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 very likely. Crichton says Diop looks shaky. Yeah. Crichton, you get Swindon says John should be manager. I'd back him. Not with my tactics, mate. No. But yeah. So as I say, it was a hard watch to do, especially in the second half. There's a lot of errors that we need to be working on still. I said even in the first half, when everybody said it was the best 30 minutes they've seen for a while. Yes, but still many mistakes. Still giving Wolves too much time on the ball. Still not marking properly. Still not making decisions correctly. All right, Michael Oliver's card-happy syndrome for the first 10-15 minutes of the game didn't help matters. Booking Diop and Dawson, or Dawson and Diop, I should say, because they were booked in the other way round. But yeah, it's good. So James has come out with it again. 8 games to go though. Let's hope our blood pressure is strong. Gary says, "What's everyone's thoughts of Moyes?" Same as it always been. I didn't want him in, but he's proven me completely wrong this season. Andy Miles says Noble deserves a special attention. His experience has helped us in the last 15. Definitely, yes, agreed, Milesy, 100%. Unsung hero, basically for me on Monday night against Wolves. Noble, unsung hero. But to go back to what you guys are saying about the 8 games, if we have 4 more victories or 3 wins and 3 draws from the remaining 8 games, we will smash our highest ever Premier League points tally. Our highest amount is 62. And Ken, please back me up on this, or if I'm wrong, it might. Please do let me know. But we are 10 points away from that with 8 games to go. Thank you very much for your appreciation, Swindon. Much appreciated. No pun intended, but it is. It's nice to feel appreciated on both sides. You know what I mean? Ben Rahman needs to step up a little bit. I believe he'll be amazing. We talked about that a few minutes ago, mate. Yeah, it's his confidence. He's not confident because he's not playing, but he's not playing because he's not confident. So it's catch 22 from that side of things. Gary said couldn't believe that his stat. I'll take it back. Andy says 5 wins, we get 4th in his opinion. James, good evening. Last orders by the looks of it. As long as we don't lose the next 2, it's on. Agreed. Now, of course, it was confirmed yesterday that Craig Dawson will be a permanent signing because the owners have actually adhered to their contract this time round, unlike doing 5 years ago with Zaza. He's made the appearances needed. He's getting his new contract. He's going to be with us until the summer of 2022, if I remember correctly. Or was it 2023? Where are we? Let's just double check. A 2-year deal. So 2020 to 2023 he finishes. The 22-23. So yeah. Gary, what's that 20 about, mate? Context, please. Or do you think we get 8? Do you think we get 20 points from 8 games? Because yeah, I'm not sure. You'll have to clarify that. James says Leicester, Newcastle, Burnley, Everton, West Brom. 20 from 24 points. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just saw James's question. Yeah. Let's have a look. Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea, Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton. I'm thinking 15, maybe 16 points out of that, mate, I think. Possibly 16 points. I genuinely think we could easily securing the Champions League, or possibly bam, or possibly fifth. But yeah, but it's very good, very very honest. John says, a bit of irrelevant, but what's your favourite film? Mine's Big Mama's House. Gives me a good smile when needed and provides the same for others. For me, Dave, it's always has been since I was 16 years old. No matter what's come before or since, it's the original Jurassic Park film. It's my favourite film ever for exactly the same reason. I can watch it. I love the music. I love how the actors are in it. It's a brilliant, brilliant film. Very entertaining. Really good. Really suspenseful film as well. One of Spielberg's last best movies. Palpatine says, Champions League tonight, lads. Who hoping wins? Who cares? It's nothing to do with the channel. James says, I believe the majority of the teams around us are playing each other, so points will be dropped by rivals. Yep, good point there, James. Very good point. Crichton says, who's asking? He's asking who is the best player at West Ham at the moment. I think he said in his opinion it's Souček. For me, yeah, Souček or Dawson. Really, really tough tussle between those two. James says, if we beat Leicester on Sunday, it's on for the top 4. We lose 7 points behind. We're 7 points behind. I think Chelsea and Liverpool will catch us. Yeah. It's possible. Either's completely possible, mate. I still think we'll finish 5th or 6th. I don't think we'll finish 4th. But again, I want to be proven wrong. My heart, like everybody else, is saying, "Yep, Champions League done." But my head is saying, But anyway, so Dawson signed today. Signed yesterday. Technically, I mean, technically it will be when the season finishes. But he put pen to paper properly the other day. Anybody think that Lingard's going to follow? Genuinely, take the passion out of the brain for a minute, out of the brain for the minute, and out of the heart. Do we genuinely think that we're going to keep hold of Jesse Lingard, bearing in mind it's Man United and he's still got an extra year of his contract as it remains at the minute? Swindon says, do you like Oasis, John? Love them so much. I shug my wife to it. Yeah, okay. But yes, I do. Gary says, do you think refs will try to stop us from getting 4th? Money does talk. I think they will. I think our referee for Sunday will, which you'll find out in the preview on Friday, mate. Emperor Palpatine's lying. Antonio's out for the rest of the season. Heard from a few Instagram accounts. Any truth to it, John? No, there isn't, because X has said that he's being investigated at the minute. So ignore what's on Instagram. Because unless it's coming from his account itself or any genuine football, or any of the players, then no, just ignore it. James says, yeah, Mike Dean Sunday, lads. And also, James, a bit of a spoiler for the preview, Michael Oliver is on VAR as well. So it's more than that, mate. So, yeah, James says, Mike Dean Sunday, lads, thoughts. Or even though it says those, he means thoughts. Len says he's a little worried about the Lingard situation. For what reason, fella? James, is Sufal or Dawson a better bargain? That's a good question, actually, mate. Good question. Jesus. Very good question. Don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know, because they both bring completely different things to their game. Very, very different. Swindon asks, what's your favourite band? Of all time is Ocean Colour Scene, followed very, very, followed in second place very, very closely by Oasis. Crichton says, whatever happens, just don't want Spurs to get top 4. Len asks, if we do get into Europe next year, well, it's next season, because it will be, because it's still in this calendar year, how prepared are we with this current squad in your opinion? We're not, in any shape or form. I've said this many times. I appreciate, Len, you haven't been around for a little while, but yes, no, that's what it is. we've just about got enough cover to play in the Premier League, much less try another cup run on top of trying to have the league and the FA Cup as well. James says, yes, Lingard, our stay will believe more for his own mental health. Apparently that has improved massively since he's joined. It's got nothing to do with it though, mate. That's the thing. I agree. I agree with you. But that's it's not going to be in contention for Man United. They're just going to want to get as much money as they possibly can. But I agree with you on the same point there, mate. I'm not saying you're wrong because I agree with you, but it's just not in contention for the transfer, sadly. Because when we're Man United say, right, you can have him for 15 million because he's feeling better, it's never going to happen. Gary says, Kufal all day long for him. He's got the biggest pockets. Palpatine says, apparently United want ridiculous money for Lingard. If we can't afford him, who would you offload Rice and swap deal and make them? I'm not even answering that question. That's clickbait. You're trolling me. You're trolling the channel with that. Not going to answer that Sky Sports rhetoric, TalkSport rhetoric at all, mate. No, not happening. Len says, Manu being willing to sell him to us at a reasonable price after the season he's having. Yeah, that's the worry. That's the worry. Bearing in mind, apparently there's talk about them wanting £40 million for him when before the the Euros and a few other games it was 15 to 20. Now it's 40. One of the idiots over on TalkSport thinks they're going to whack an extra 20 million on top of that, which I can't see in any shape or form. I don't think Man United would be that stupid to try and sell him for 60 million. Nobody will buy him for that amount of money. As great as he is, I don't think he's worth that. Again, it's a hands-off price tag. If it is genuinely going to be 60 million, 40 to 60 million, nah, not for me. It's just because it's just not going to happen. We don't have the finances for it. No, I wouldn't sell Rice. I'm not rising to the bait. I'm not rising to the bait. No. James says, but if he stays at Man United, he won't sign an extension because he'd rather run his contract down. He has a pinch of power to keep the price more reasonable. A very, very small pinch, mate. A very, very small pinch. Dave says he's got to be, guys, he's going to go. Dave, welcome. Thank you very much for joining, mate. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. As I say, check out the other content on the channel, and let us know what you think. And it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to have you as a subscriber if you haven't already. But enjoy your evening, mate. Sorting the kids out, as the old saying goes. Oh, it's gone up by 1, so I'm guessing you have. But thank you. It is bait. You're baiting me to get into an argument about it. Bait is saying West Ham is full of terrorists. Well, not really, mate. No, you're baiting me because I said it's Sky Sports rhetoric. If you're going to ask a question that has a bit more of independent thought, quite frankly, because you're clearly a fake account. Otherwise, you wouldn't name yourself after a fictional character, as is with Crichton. But Crichton shows a bit more respect than you do, by the looks of things. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there, guys. We'll wrap it up there because it's come to the end of the hour. So, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. As I said, if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already done so, then please do so. Please do hit the like button if you've enjoyed this content. Please share it with anybody that you feel may want to watch it. The channel is going to be on Twitch properly from the start of next season. Well, actually, might be from the end of this season, depending if I can get. I've got a few ideas of what I want to do exclusively on Twitch. Won't be on YouTube. Won't be on Facebook. Won't be on Instagram. It will literally be that. It will be there on. So yeah. So, click the like button if you haven't already done so. Which I see you haven't because there's only 10 likes so far and it's been there for a while. And thank you, Len. But yeah, look after yourselves, guys. Take care of yourselves. And as I said, the preview will be for the Leicester game will be available for the Patreons on lunchtime tomorrow, and on Friday lunchtime for everybody else. And of course, we will have the live watch along at 10 to 2 on Sunday afternoon as well. So you have a nice evening as well, fake Palpatine. And I will see you guys very, very soon. All the best. Take care.